If this engine had been allowed to thrive, how might the muscle car era, and even modern performance cars, look completely different today? Imagine Detroit in the 1960s, the streets buzzing with raw horsepower, chrome glinting under the sun, and the roar of muscle cars defining what America thought was speed. Amid all this power and prestige, a small group of engineers quietly built a machine that defied every rule, every expectation, and every law of corporate comfort. It wasn't the biggest. It wasn't the loudest. But it was, in every sense, too perfect. And perfection, as history would show, can be dangerous. You might be thinking, oh great, another engine story. But wait, this isn't just nuts and bolts, this is about ambition, fear, and a boardroom that chose silence over brilliance. What was this engine that GM built in secret? Where was it raced? Who were the geniuses behind it? And most importantly, why would a company that thrived on performance quietly bury its own masterpiece? Stick around, because what you're about to learn isn't in any car magazine, and it might just change the way you see muscle cars forever. The year was 1966. America was obsessed with power. Bigger engines, louder exhausts, and faster quarter-mile times dominated the dreams of enthusiasts. But somewhere inside GM's labyrinthine facilities, a small team of engineers quietly whispered a radical idea: could a compact engine compete, even dominate, against the giants of Detroit? This engine, later known as the 427 cubic inch Mark II V8, or that mystery motor, was designed not for flash, not for marketing, but for sheer performance. And the people behind it? Legends in their own right: Herb Fischel, Bill Howell, Paul Pryor, John Pierce, Ron Spey, and Paul Van Valkenburg. Each brought expertise, creativity, and, perhaps most importantly, a willingness to challenge the rules. And here's a fun thought: how many of these engineers do you think wore pocket protectors while designing a car engine that could embarrass a big block? Probably none, but you get the idea. The engine was built at GM's Flint, Michigan plant for production, while racing versions were crafted by Traco Engineering. Testing wasn't done in a flashy studio, it happened at GM's Milford test facility and on SCCA Transam circuits across North America. These tracks would soon witness a quiet revolution. Imagine watching a compact Chevy Z28 racing against heavyweights, lap after lap, not only keeping pace but beating engines twice its size. For enthusiasts, this was electrifying. For GM executives? Terrifying. So why wasn't this engine promoted like Chevrolet's big block options? The answer lies in strategy. The Chevy 2, which housed this masterpiece, was marketed as an economy-focused compact car. Big block engines were flashy, loud, and targeted at muscle car fans and truck owners. Promoting the 427 Mark II meant shifting the market and potentially undermining a multi-million-dollar investment in bigger engines. And here's where things get tense. The first production engines were tested in late 1966 and early 1967. The performance was undeniable, the reliability astonishing, yet the executives quietly debated its future. Would they embrace this perfection, or bury it to protect the status quo? Perfection was dangerous because it threatened tradition, marketing plans, and profit projections. Imagine a small, precise engine outshining Detroit's giants. Suddenly, every dollar spent on big block promotions looked foolish. And in corporate America, nothing is more terrifying than the prospect of looking foolish. The engineers continued refining the machine, pushing boundaries that even seasoned racers hadn't imagined. Every dyno run, every track lap proved something shocking. The mystery motor could redefine speed, efficiency, and handling all at once. Somewhere along the line, one engineer reportedly said, "It's like building a Ferrari inside a family sedan, and hoping nobody notices." By 1974, tightening emissions regulations and internal politics converged. The Chevrolet Camaro Z28 engine project, which had amazed enthusiasts for years, was temporarily discontinued. It wasn't failure that killed it, it was fear. Fear of perfection, fear of market disruption, and fear that one small engine could change everything. And here's the question that still haunts historians and collectors: what if GM had allowed this engine to thrive? Would muscle cars look different today? Would modern performance cars be lighter, faster, and more precise? Behind the scenes, this story was about more than pistons and camshafts. It was about human ambition versus corporate caution. Engineers risked their careers for innovation, while executives gambled with tradition to protect billions in investment. Every decision, every memo, every silent meeting had consequences that would ripple through decades of automotive history. Even today, the mystery motor is revered among collectors, engineers, and historians. It represents a what-if scenario that has fascinated automotive enthusiasts for generations. Surviving engines are treasured artifacts, pieces of a story that GM tried to erase but could never fully hide. Envision the possibilities: a muscle car era where compact precision engines dominated. Imagine modern vehicles built with that mindset: lighter, faster, smarter, and more efficient. The engine wasn't just a machine, it was a blueprint for what could have been. And here's a playful thought: what if every muscle car fan in America knew this engine existed back then? Would Detroit have been able to sleep at night? Probably not. Today, enthusiasts analyze dyno sheets, study blueprints, and debate the influence of the mystery motor. Its story teaches an important lesson: innovation can be as frightening as it is inspiring. Perfection doesn't just challenge competitors, it challenges the system itself. The story of the engine GM was forced to kill is more than history, it's a lesson in ambition, fear, and the cost of brilliance. If this engine had been allowed to thrive, the entire landscape of performance cars might look very different today. For those hungry to dive deeper into Chevrolet's engineering marvels, don't stop here. Click on the next video in this series, the deadly Chevy 302 Turbo Dash Flexed Biceps Fire that shook Detroit Part 2, where we uncover yet another engine that shook the world and left Detroit scrambling. Remember, in the world of cars, the most dangerous machines aren't always the loudest, sometimes, they're the ones that quietly make the powerful uneasy. Fearless!